Just give you a quick background, Southwire is the leading wire and cable supplier for North America. We make everything from the high transmission wires that you see from the highway. So Southwire is a private company, which actually lends us some flexibility when it comes to goals and objectives, right? A lot of our strategic objectives for sustainability is one of our key strategic objectives for Southwire. We can take a longer outlook rather than quarter to quarter, year to year type of activities.
Today's guest is all about operations and sustainability. He is working with a leading company in innovation in power delivery with a focus on ESG. He is inspiring high performance teams for a responsible future. Let's welcome Say on 10 Minutes of Hiring Wisdom, where he will tell us what's it like working for a top leading company, what he's learned along the way, and if he has any tips for job seekers out there. I say, how are you doing today?
Great, how are you? Happy New Year, Manal. Very
Happy.
nice to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us, Say. So, Say, I'd love to jump right in your role, which is VP of Operations and Sustainability at a company called Southwire. What are the key responsibilities and challenges that you might face in your position, which makes you enjoy it?
That's a great question. So just give you a quick background, Southwire is the leading wire and cable supplier for North America. We make everything from the high transmission wires that you see from the highway all the way down to the little bitty small thermostat wire that you may use in your house, right? So the actual breadth of the product is very wide. My role at Southwire as an operational sustainability leader is really to ensure that all our operations, so everything within our four walls, we do it in a sustainable manner, whether that's from environmental level or from a sustainability from energy, water, and waste. So clearly we are a large user of energy, especially when it comes to natural gas, which is the thermal energy, which I'm sure we'll talk about in the next couple of minutes. We want to ensure that we are doing our best and everything that we can to reduce our emissions from those types of activities. So that's one of our main challenges in Southwire.
Okay, I think a follow up question for that is a lot of companies these days are all about being sustainable. They're all about leaving a green imprint, which is to make the future a much more better place for the upcoming generations. So, how do you ensure that you are in alignment with the KPIs that you set for yourself to ensure that you reach those sustainability goals that are set at the start of the year, which is 2024, for example, for this year?
Yeah, this is actually a perfect question. So Southwire is a private company, which actually lends us some flexibility when it comes to goals and objectives, right? A lot of our strategic objectives for sustainability is one of our key strategic objectives for Southwire. We can take a longer outlook rather than quarter to quarter, year to year type of activities, right? So we're looking at, hey, what can we do in the next 3 to 5 years? Rather than, hey, what can we do in the next quarter or next year to ensure that we meet the expectations from our shareholders. Not to say that we don't have expectations and KPIs for the year. Obviously, we do, right? So we have to so that we're consistent and we know that we're making progress. But our family, the owners of the company and the major key stakeholders of the company, who has a strong desire for a sustainable company, they wanted to ensure that our objectives, our work in sustainability within Southwire is tangible. So we want to really talk about from a physical sense, how can we minimize our energy use from the beginning, so we don't have to go outside to look for carbon reduction, programs outside of our four walls.
Okay, I think a lot of companies usually have shorter goals, but essentially what you say makes sense because the broader picture is the much more important thing. Because at the end of the day, it won't matter whether it's a quarter, whether it's a year, as long as you're making an impact. So thank you for sharing that. So, say my next question is specifically focused on your background in engineering and sustainability. How do you balance the operational aspects of your role with the broader goal of enhancing environmental and social responsibility at Southwire?
Yes, so I've been, I grew up as an engineer. My background's in engineering, so the whole technical aspects actually really interest me, and I have a passion for the technical and engineering side of the business. So I actually, it's actually very intricate, right? So and interesting at the same time. So we want to make sure that, hey, there's all these activities that we do. We're investing heavily in our own infrastructure to get ready for the electrification of America. We're very excited as part of the company. Um, so we want to make sure as we expand and we do all these projects and infrastructure projects and investments within our own facilities that we're looking at sustainability from the beginning. And so we're designing all our investments with sustainability in mind and embedding it from the beginning before pen hits the pen any paper to ensure that we're talking about sustainability from the beginning, right? So there's a lot of technical aspects from that. So I find myself very interested and challenged at the same time to ensure that we bring all those technical aspects and any new technical breakthrough technologies or new technologies. Maybe it's something that's out there already that Southwire haven't not yet discovered. So we're looking at all the different opportunities out there to make an impact today.
I love the continuous learning approach because sometimes when you implement something, you're like, my work is done, I am done, I do not have anything else to do. But the continuous learning approach, where you're always looking for something better that you can implement in your current role and your current company, shows your continuous learning mindset, which is something that's very inspiring. So thank you for sharing that. So my next question is specifically about the recent partnership with Ready with Southwire's engagement in various initiatives. Can you share more about the company's strategic partnership and the community involvement?
Yes. So are you asking about our partnership with Ready
Yes.
specifically? Okay. So Ready Robotics is a company that provides solutions for automation and robotics. And our approach, Southwire has always been interested in robotics. We've done robotics implementations and automation implementations in the past. But what we want to do is take a holistic view rather than, hey, we have an issue here, or maybe we need a solution there. And instead of looking at ad hoc activities, we want to look at a holistic look across the enterprise and say, hey, if we can learn from this here, how do we ensure that those lessons get continued and carried over to the other sites where it can be implemented there as well? So what we're doing with Ready is really looking at the entire operation holistically and seeing what the opportunities are. So we're piloting a couple projects with them to understand what those pilots and what the execution looks like and what kind of implementation time and what kind of training we need internally to make sure that we take full value out of those implementations. And once we do that, then we're going to scale, right? So we've done those pilot projects specifically at specific sites and assets to ensure that we can have the scalability for the other sites as well.
I mean, the vision is very inspiring and it seems very clear. So I hope the partnership itself is fruitful and the impact that you both make together is something that can leave an mark. So thank you for sharing that. Say your LinkedIn profile specifically which showcases your passion for inspiring and empowering high performance teams. As a leader, how do you ensure that teams can collaborate together in such an efficient and efficient way where everyone produces significant amount of work in the most efficient way possible?
I think one of the things that we need to strive for, and as a leader, is to ensure that the folks are passionate about the work that they're doing. Right? If you're not passionate about the work, I feel like that's a number one trigger to kind of just say, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and hitting my objectives. But once we find the linkage between the passion, the individual sense of value, and the fact that Southwire is such a value-driven company, we work by the sustainable five tenets as a company. So I think we can, when we start making those links and finding the passionate individuals about the work, then the whole cohesivity and the desire to achieve what we're trying to do as a company together, I think it's highlighted as a team. And we want to make sure that we work as a team as well, right? So that's the other great part of working at Southwire and a great part of being in a company where we strive to be very inclusive. We're ensuring that we talk about inclusivity, we talk about diversity, and we continuously learn about DNA as well as we move forward as a company.
I mean, a team is a reflection of the leader, and the way you speak about what you want and expect from your team is something that showcases how committed and how efficient your team is. So, thank you. You mentioned something about inclusivity. So, Southwire is predominantly an industry belongs to the industry that is predominantly male dominated, and it is getting more dominated by other sects as well. So, I'd love to understand how you approach DEI within your team in a way where people feel much more inclusive, people feel like where they can make mistakes and learn from them.
Well, that's a great point. You're complete, and you're 100% right. It is an industry that, for legacy for 100 years or plus that the industry has been around. It is a very male-dominated industry because of the work that, in the typical typeset and the assets that it used to be in the facilities, right? It was very, focused for a male type of worker. So moving forward, I think I think one of the great examples I can give you is the partnership with Ready. The whole automation piece is really, giving the opportunity and giving the workforce the ability to do work that was only dominated for males for decades because of that physical need, right? Of maybe you had to move something very heavy, or maybe it was very exhausting. So we want to make sure that as we upgrade our assets, as we modernize our assets, so we're looking at those consciously and saying, hey, what are the limits for, so that from a physical standpoint, so everyone has the ability to do this work, not just a specific group of population from the workers.
I think it's all about awareness, and considering Southwire itself is very aware regarding how they can modernize their processes within the company to ensure that it has equal representation from different fields, whether it's women, whether it's people of color. It's something that's very important and very inspiring. Last question, say very basic question, but what was your New Year's resolution, and what was a hard lesson that you learned from 2023 that you want to take into 2024?
Oh, New Year's resolution. I have some private ones, obviously, that I should eat better and exercise more and spend more time with the family. So that's kind of the ongoing resolution that I have every year. And then for work, we want to make sure that we continue and focus on what we're doing, right? So we have a very good plan for sustainability. So we want to make sure that we can actually, execute on those plans and really showcase what we can do as a company, as a team, and bring Southwire to the leadership and leading the class in the industry, and really showcase what's possible, so that others in the same industry, maybe in the other industries, can follow us and say, hey, what did you guys do, and how can we copy? We're more than willing to collaborate with anyone in any companies out there, anybody in the industry, to really talk about this. We're sustainability really, I think, goes across every company, right? This is not something we are holding tight and saying, hey, this is our technology, our vision, or our private type of activity or projects. We want to make sure that this is something that we can cross pollinate across the industry.
No, I think you mentioned your private resolutions and then you mentioned your work resolutions, and only when your personal life feels fulfilled, you're more likely to perform well at work, because if you spend time with your family, your loved ones, you can go to work at peace knowing that there are people who will cheer on you no matter what. So thank you so much for sharing that. So last question, a lot of people are looking for jobs at the current moment. If you have any open, if you're looking to hire, I'd love to understand some of the positions that you have open so people know what to seek for.
Excellent. So as I mentioned before, I think you probably got it between the lines. Southwire is expanding. We're growing as a business. We're part of the whole infrastructure movement in North America. From EVs to renewable power to the whole modernization of utilities. We're definitely part of that type of group and work. So we're expanding, so we have many roles open. Please feel free to visit to see what type of roles you're looking for. We have lots different, from very different functions, from EH&S to engineering, to operations, to manufacturing, legal, right? We have many roles open at all times. Having said that, however, in the sustainability team, we are actually looking for some dedicated individuals as well. So we're expanding our sustainability group. So please look out for that, for those announcements here to follow in the next.
Okay, well, this sums up our conversation in a good note where people know what to seek for. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, for sharing your passion for sustainability, for sharing what you look for in candidates when you are building your own team, and specifically how your personal life is well balanced with your work life to ensure that you can produce and efficient work. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.